So I got two little scenes, and my first one, I don't know. Well, I don't know where it was, but I think it was in Newport, Rhode Island, at the turn of the century. So we'll say it was there. And I had these very white shoes. They were these very white, I don't know, almost like boat shoes, canvasy sort of shoes. And a very white dress, and I was a girl, I don't know how old, but a child of some age, and her name was Ariana. And it was a very like nice scene at first, and then I sort of blanked out for a little bit, and then when I came back into semi-consciousness, I was having this fight with my mother. And it was all about how she wanted me to act. And it was a wealthy family. I think we were even on a boat, and I was doing something wrong. And that entire relationship was all about the mother-daughter dynamic and the mother telling her what she was doing wrong. I think you said like something about like, what is this?
What's the relevance?
Yeah, and it was really about she felt very like oppressed or held back, and she made a decision to never be held back by like, I don't know, like her mom telling her what to do, like, and it was all about society. It's all about like the right, like being posh, like Emily Post. It felt very like etiquette and manners, and so the whole lesson of that lifetime was like, you don't have to follow the rules, you don't have to be a good girl by your mom's description. And
go out there and do what you want to do.
Yeah, and just like, you'll never have to do this again. But her whole life, I only got, it was funny because I thought you were going to put us into, like we did last time, where we were going to go to another point in her life. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see how this like blows up with her mom. But I never got to see it. But I just got this really clear message that like, that was done in that lifetime. So, yeah, it was just very, like, people are always going to want to tell you what to do and what the right way to act is. And in that life, I think Ariana just continued to struggle with that.
And when you went up into the higher learning, it was, you don't have to do that in this life.
Like, that was done. And I still, like, revisit some of that, but not from the place that she was at. I don't know if I can put this into words, but the place the only word I can come up with was like she was oppressed by it. That doesn't seem like it's the right word, but like it was just always held her back from what she could be or getting what she wanted.
And was there another one?
Yeah, and then the second one was really interesting because it was a guy. He was 17, and he was in a not a very nice outdoor pool, and he was doing this dive, like an Olympic dive, over and over and over. And his name was Ho, and I thought he was Japanese at first, but then it was that he was Chinese. I have no idea when it was. His trainer was there. I don't know who his trainer was, but his trainer was there, and he like kept having to do this dive over and over again. And what was interesting about it was it wasn't about the dive. It was learning how to not be afraid of risks. So I thought, like, when I was trying to think, like, I don't know, I was like in my head a little bit. And I was like, oh, this is about, like, excellence.
Yeah, and practice.
It was about practice or excellence. But I got this really super clear message that it was about being willing to take risks. That was the the thing I got to take back with me. And it was like a dangerous dive in kind of a crappy pool, and he had no other. He was singularly focused on diving. It was almost like there wasn't any more to him than the diving. Like, he woke up every morning and he was diving, and he had this trainer, and he had this like weird house where the crappy pool was, and every day he got up and did the same dive over and over again all day long.
So you can bring that single focusedness,
yeah,
feeling back into this life, and that.
But he did the
to
same dive so many times. But it was this very risky dive. But it was like, if you just keep practicing and keep doing the same thing, like, the risk was like this almost non-issue. Like, if I were to do that dive right now, I would break my neck. Like, but it was so clear that it was just like, just keep practicing taking risks as opposed to practicing like the dive or any one thing.
Then there's no fear around it. So being able to bring that into your life now, of practicing taking risks and not have them seem like they're big risks, puts you at Olympic standard.
Yeah.
Way above the rest.
Yeah. So they were like pretty, like, you know, they were pretty brief scenes. They weren't like super detailed, but they were like very clear lessons.
And it's the experience and the remembrance of that as a memory that you can tap into and have as yours to apply now. And that's what we've done in this lifetime with the connection to the Akash and overlaying it and activating it in this life.
Yep.